Hey, what's up? It's Jeff, and it's always good to have you back on another episode here at the Goofy Scoop podcast. Before we get started with our special guest, Miranda Gibble, as she gives us an inside scoop on the Disney Vacation Club, I wanted to apologize in advance about the audio issues that you will hear on my side of the microphone. Good news is, I have resolved the issue, and it shouldn't be an issue any longer for future episodes. I've appreciated all the views and all the listens that we've attained here on the Goofy Scoop podcast on various platforms that you can find us. And I'm not going to hold you guys any longer. I've had an amazing time recording this episode. I hope you guys have an amazing time listening. And please enjoy.
For all who comes to this goofy place, welcome.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode here on the Goofy Scoop podcast. Of course, I'm here, and then we also have Gray, and we have a brand new guest here on the podcast, Miranda Gibble. Miranda, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. Gray, she didn't even ask you if you were doing good.
I know, it's fine. I'm not mad. I'm fine, everyone.
All right, so Miranda is part of our friend group of 6. So Kylie, Lauren, AJ, Gray, Miranda, myself, that is our famous group of 6. But anyway, Miranda was working at Hollywood Studios. She was quick service food and beverage. So Miranda, go ahead and give them a little bit of details on how it was with your experience at the Disney College Program.
As I'm sure you've heard from everyone else, we all loved it. I, however, was taking online classes when I was there for my university. I went to University of Akron, and so that was an interesting experience. But regardless, I still had a great time just hanging out with all of them all the time. But yeah, so I worked at Hollywood Studios, technically in Echo Lake, if anyone knows where that is. But I
worked in the lake, like in the bottom of it. She worked in the lake. Yeah, she was a scuba diver.
We worked in the boat in the lake. It's called Dockside Diner, and then I worked at another location. It's next to Indiana Jones, and that is called Epic Eats. So we did food at Dockside Diner, and then we did funnel cakes and ice cream at Epic Eats.
Yeah, those funnel cakes were dangerous.
Yeah, they were like crazy because they weren't just normal funnel cakes. Like it was like ice cream, Oreo, strawberry. Yeah, it was a lot.
I was about to say, like the funnel cakes that you get at Epcot in the American Pavilion, those are nothing compared to what you get at Epic Eats. When I was watching them make my funnel cake and then they put the little 2 Oreos on there to make the Mickey ears, I was like, I just got lightheaded. I felt like I was about to get some diabetes. I was like, hand it over, give it to me, give it.
Yeah. Oh, they were so good, but it was such a tiny area. Like there were like 4 of us in there, and it was probably the size of the closet. It was so small.
Yeah, just constantly bumping shoulders because the parks were busy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we were the only funnel cake place in Hollywood Studios, so if you wanted one, you had to go there.
Go to Epic Eats, guys.
Yes.
Love to hear it.
All right, so we'll have to talk some more about the quick service food and beverage on another episode with Miranda. But today, guys, we are here for the Disney Vacation Club. Miranda is a member, and she's going to give us some information on maybe some inside scoops and what it takes to be a DVC member, and some benefits, maybe some pros, maybe some cons. We'll see what Miranda says. So, Miranda, how do you want to get this kicked off? What do you want to talk about first when it comes to the Disney Vacation Club?
Well, I can do a little bit background on like my family's experience with DVC and how we got started. Basically my mom and dad. So technically my mom is the owner right now. So, but I am somehow related. I'm like listed as an associate or something on the deed, but my mom is she's the owner. She pays the dudes, so I just reap the benefits.
I was gonna say that sounds like a pretty sweet deal.
That's the best way to live.
Right, exactly. But yeah, so essentially it's like a timeshare, but my dad, he loved DVC. So the first year it came out was, I believe, 1993, I think. But yeah, so it was 1983, and my dad, big Disney dude, he was like, honey, we got to get it. So they
Sounds like a smart man.
yeah, exactly. So the way that it works is like a point system. So essentially, when you buy into DVC, I think the minimum is like 100 points, but you just get points and then you can use them at any Disney resort, whether that be Walt Disney World in Florida or the California in Disneyland. And then you can also use them with like different places. So they call them Disney quality resorts. So it's like up to Disney standards elsewhere. So in 2017, we went to Cancun with DVC points, but it wasn't a Disney resort. It was just an all-inclusive. So that was really cool. And then, but when you buy in, it's like a dollar amount per point. So
Okay.
when my parents bought in, it was like $40 a point. So they bought 230 points because I was not born yet. So it was just my mom, my dad, my brother, and sister. So because when you talk to like a DVC person, they're like, how many are in your family? How often you want to go to Disney? And they'll come up with like a point system that like kind of will be like, this is probably enough to get you through each year. So you use those throughout the year. And then every year after that, you just pay like dues, which essentially that is the upkeep for your like where you own property. And then you can just use the points every year. It gets like replenished. But then when I was born, my parents bought 100 more points. So now
That's all Miranda got was 100 points.
I know. But I probably use more than that yearly. So
I feel like it'd be easy to do.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So my family has 330 points, and my mom doesn't go to Disney anymore. So she kind of lets my sister and I use the points because my brother doesn't really go to Disney either. So
Is a loser. Got it.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Well, my step family can use the points too, but they don't like Disney. So, I mean, they're missing out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they joined, like, I believe the first year that it was available. And the first resort that it was available to, or the first DVC resort, is Old Key West. So it's the oldest DVC resort, and it's also the biggest. So if you guys go to Disney and you stay in a resort of any kind, if you go to Old Key West, that will be the biggest square footage, like best bang for your buck, essentially. So if you go into like a studio, for example, they will have 2 queen beds instead of the queen bed and then the pull out.
Okay.
So and that sounds like, oh, it'd be the same, but like it's like 2 full queen beds, so it is technically like square footage wise bigger. So that's just a little tip for anyone that is trying to decide. But obviously DVC resorts are more expensive to stay at when, like, if you're paying out of pocket, because they're a little bit more, I don't know, like luxurious, I guess you could call it.
No, they 100% are. I was gonna say, because I usually stay at the Pop Century, right? That's my family's go-to. We're not in DVC or anything like that. But where's a couple of resorts that you've stayed at since you've been a DVC member?
A lot. Actually, on my program, I was lucky enough. My mom was like, whenever your friends visit, you can just stay at like a DVC resort. Like, you can use my points because I'm not going to use them. They're going to expire. So I actually stayed at a lot because it was really busy at Disney. So when I had friends visit, we were only able to like get one night at a time. And so we would just like hop resorts each night. So I stayed at 5 new resorts when I was down and doing my program, but I've stayed at Old Key West, obviously. and then Saratoga Springs. I think both of those are like the biggest like or the largest number of rooms, but I don't know exactly. But Saratoga Springs is huge. Have you guys stayed there?
Just
I
pop.
visited. Yeah, I've walked there, but
Okay. Yeah. So it's right by Disney Springs, so it's pretty nice. And then I've stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge. I've stayed at Copper Creek, I believe. Is that one of them? I think it's Copper Creek. I've
Great.
stayed I'm trying to think. Beach and Yacht. So
beach.
oh wait, I guess
It's
yacht.
two different resorts, yacht and beach.
Yacht Club.
Yacht Club.
I was supposed to stay at Boardwalk, and then
What a time that would have been.
I know, but the pipe burst when I was in Animal Kingdom.
Ooh.
So then they had to move me to a different place. So it was like late at night. So I believe it was yacht, but I am not completely sure on that.
It was probably yacht or beach.
It might have been Beach Club. Trying to think of other places I've stayed at.
What is your home resort?
Old Key West. So
that's your go-to.
Yeah. So I don't know if you meant to say it like that, but like your home resort is the place that you own points at.
Yeah, I meant to say it like that because I wanted the explanation. Yeah.
Okay.
So terminology, like they always say like welcome home when you go to a DVC resort, because that's where you own property. So that is Old Key West, and we have two different contracts. So some people, they'll own own points at like several different places, because I've heard of people having like 1,000 points or like 2,000 points. I couldn't even imagine having that many points in general, because I feel like they would go to waste.
Well, each point's $40 as well, you said, right? Or was that back in 93?
Yeah, back in the day. So back in the day, it was like, I think my parents spent like $16,000 to like own the property, and then every year after that they pay dues. But nowadays, I think it's like $180 per point.
God, must be nice.
Yeah. So honestly, like the deal that we have, like we got it way back when it was the first thing, and when my mom and dad like bought into DVC, they gave you free park admission until the year 2000.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's like the whole family. Oh my gosh, I can't speak.
That's pretty cool, actually. I did not know that.
So basically, at this point, it's like you have it, don't lose it.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. So I have like, obviously that expired since then, and they don't do that anymore, but they were trying to incentivize people to buy into DVC. So that's why they offered the free park admission. And it's crazy because like Disney would never do that now. Like they would never give you free park admission for years.
Oh no.
They barely give free park admission to cast members now. Like,
yeah.
It's
shots fired.
It's true. You can't tell me it's not true.
Yeah, no, it is. Even with my complimentary tickets that I still have from being let go during COVID on my program, it's still a pain to get them on the phone and make sure that I'm going to get in for free and using those comp tickets.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. When I was there, actually, they said I still had a comp ticket. I was like, what?
Yeah, so I don't know. It's weird because Gray, you might want to look into this as well, because I'll tell AJ, Lauren, and Kylie too. I don't know if it's maybe just because we were the fall of 19 and it went into 2020 technically because of January 2nd, or what the issue was, but I've known that people can still use their comps even before they extended or spring of 20.
Mm-hmm. Well, I will say, so when I worked at the Disney store, because I like technically became a cast member again, I went in and looked and I didn't have any tickets. Like everything was gone. Everything had expired. I logged into the hub, and the only tickets I had that were like there were like Chip and Dale tickets that were like, use them within the next 2 weeks. And I was like, well, That's not gonna happen. So it was but yeah, I didn't have anything left.
Okay.
Yeah.
And speaking of expiration as well, these points that you purchase for the DVC, they don't expire at all, right? Like once you purchase it, that point stays with you until you use it, correct? Like you don't have a timeline or a certain time frame?
You kind of do. So okay, so our like use year is April. I don't know. So we'll start with April. So in April of 2021, we were given 330 points because we paid our dues. So we got the 330. And then we can use them up until like April of 2022. So you can use them for a year.
Okay.
But you can also like in December, like I think it's like 3 months before your like your use year is up, you can bank your points to use them the next year. So so say like we weren't going to Disney. Actually, my mom did. She banked some points. So she is now eligible to use those points from 2021 past April of 2022 until like the end of March
Okay.
of 23. So you can use them for 2 years, but you have to bank them after a year, essentially.
Or else they disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or else, they just have to they disappear. So like my mom banked them so she can use them for like up until
when she banked them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can, so like say you bank them, like technically all of our points are banked right now. You can still like pull from that and use them at resorts. So like just because you bank them doesn't mean that they're gone until that year starts again. Like you can still use them, but I think Disney has like a policy right now that you can't use more than 50% of your points
that are
right
banked
now because so it's because of COVID, because they didn't want more people on the resorts. So in order to like prevent people from using them, actually it might not be banked points, it might have been like you can't borrow more than 50% of your points. So you can
Man, this is getting complicated for Jeff.
I know. I need a whiteboard.
I might buy a point at a time.
Yeah. But then you can use them for 2 years. But then say for example, now that I have a combined family, like there's 9 of us. So when we go to Disney, which my step family doesn't like,
which probably won't happen. Yeah.
Right. But like when we used to go as like a big family, they would have to use banked points from the year before, use the current points of that current year, and then you can borrow points from the next year.
Okay.
Yeah. So like say like my mom didn't go to Disney and all in 2019, but then we were going to Disney in 2020. So she could use 330 plus 330 plus 330. So like 990 points in the year 2020, because you can like bank, like use your banked points and your borrowed points.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
What if you borrow points from the next year? Like, okay, I have all these points, but I need just like a little bit more. I'm gonna borrow some points from 2023, but then I don't pay my dues next year.
I don't know. I'm presuming you get in trouble with Disney.
Because like, are you like stealing? Because technically they weren't yours yet.
Yeah, like court case.
Or are you just like getting an extra year of points,
right?
And not having to pay for them? Yeah. Like, is that a cheap way to do it, or not? I mean, it's like
a cheating way.
Is it like a cheating way to get extra points before you can't pay for it anymore? Or is the mouse going to come after you with a contract that says you owe us $5 million?
Mickey's going after you for sure.
Yeah, I feel like Mickey's definitely coming after you, because I think so when my parents bought their property, like they signed a contract for 50 years. Yeah, so they bought
That's
it.
a heck of a commitment, but for the mouse, I'll do it.
Real. I mean,
Right?
holy cow.
But this is what you can do. Like, if you're done with your DVC, like, you can sell your contract. Like, you can give it back to Disney and be like, I don't want it anymore. And then you just don't pay the dues, and then they can resell those points.
Yeah, because DVC is just timeshare.
Yeah, it's just a timeshare, but it's like a more, I don't know, I really like it because you don't just stay at the same place every year. It's like you can go anywhere and stuff like that. But I suppose you could. However, I do think if you're locked into that 50 years, they'll just be like, sorry, you have to pay the money.
That's just like so
Yeah.
like I don't know what I want for breakfast tomorrow. How do I know that I'm going to spend all this money for the next 50 years? That's such a big commitment.
If you're going to spend that money for the next 50 years, Gray, I can tell you right now, you're going to have a Mickey waffle tomorrow morning. Okay. I know that.
You're probably right.
Yeah. I mean, me personally, like, I foresee I will probably own DVC myself in my life.
I guess if you like, I feel like if you have family, it's like a good, like, you start it when you're like a young family, and then like you use it well into your adult years, and your kids can use it. Like, that 50 years can go a long way for like different things.
Yeah. And nowadays, like, it's a little different with each hotel that they make that's DVC. They have like different type of contracts. So our contract is like unique to Old Key West when they were selling it. So it changes constantly. But I mean, I really, really enjoy using it and just going on vacations. Like, it kind of takes the stress out of like some of it. I know I'm like using it and my mom pays for it right now, but once I own my own.
Thanks, Mom. We love you.
Yeah, shout out to my mother. She's incredible.
Oh no, Mrs. Gibble.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like a less stressful thing to think about because you're like, okay, Disney's expensive, but I have the resort basically like paid for.
Yeah.
I can go. And then all you have is like the plane ticket and the food and tickets, which is a lot, but it's, I don't know.
Yeah, which the 5 times that Miranda stayed at the DVC resorts, right? Great. I didn't receive one invite. Did you?
No, absolutely not.
I was thinking about that when she was telling us this. I was like, I didn't receive one invite.
Jeff, if she can't even ask like, hey, how are you? She's not gonna invite me to a DVC resort. Are you kidding me?
I mean, she asks how I am. I mean, I could have slept on the floor. She could have asked me how I was doing on the floor. I don't care.
You're right. Look, I would have slept in the lobby. Are you kidding me?
For our reunion, that I will get the resort. I said I got it.
That's true. She did say that.
Yeah. Miranda did come in clutch with the DVC on that one.
Let's just hope that I get my own room. Okay. Thanks. I'm just kidding.
You don't want to hang out with AJ and I?
I'm just kidding.
Whatever. I do get us a 3-bedroom resort so then Gray can have the master.
One for the girls, one for the boys, one for Gray. Perfect.
Yeah.
It'll be great. So I do have another question. The DVC resorts, I know they cost like a different amount of points for each one you stay at, whatever. What is like, I don't know if you know this or not, what is like an average amount of points? So like, you have 330 points a year. Like, how many vacations is that?
Right. Yeah. So it definitely depends on how you make it work, because the good thing with the flexibility it comes with is like, I could go stay at a DVC resort for one night and then leave. So it doesn't require you to stay a certain amount, but you could also go. So DVC resorts, they're a little bit different than the other ones. So they have villas. So they have studios, which would just be like a kitchenette, bathroom, and then the bedroom. But it's like all, you guys know studios. So and then they have 1-bedrooms, which is like, it's honestly a huge upgrade because you have a master bedroom. You have a full bathroom. You have a washer and dryer.
Oh wow.
Unit. Yeah.
Dryer would be nice on rainy days.
Or splash fountain.
Yeah. And they give a little thing to use, like dishwashing, like
laundry detergent.
Detergent.
Yeah, laundry detergent. And then you get a full kitchen and then like a living room and everything.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
Yeah. And then 2-bedroom is like same thing, but an extra bedroom, and then 3-bedroom. So I believe all of the villas, or most of the villas, are like 3-bedroom villas that they're 2 stories. So it's like 3 bedrooms, but it's like, I mean, it's like a house. It's huge. I've only stayed on one time, and it was, our whole family was down in Disney, but we had to get 2 separate rooms because we couldn't get a 3-bedroom for all of us. So luckily we were in the same resort. Like we were just like a couple floors like above. And my brother went back to the resort and he's like, it's completely flooded in here.
Oh.
It was like water everywhere, a pipe burst. But I mean, luckily there wasn't like huge damage, except my brothers.
This was the same story as the boardwalk, right? Just to clarify.
No, different story.
Oh God, Disney.
Oh, maybe we shouldn't go to Disney with Miranda. She's gonna just have our room flooded.
Yeah.
Maybe I bring the bad luck. Like maybe, actually, I wasn't even staying in there. I wasn't staying in the room that got flooded, so it's not my fault.
It's not me. It's not me.
It wasn't. It wasn't. So anyway, so that whole thing happened, and then we all had to go back. But Disney like found us a 3-bedroom in Saratoga, so we stayed in the 3-bedroom for like the rest of our vacation.
Yeah.
But that thing was huge. Like it was amazing.
It was a house.
It was a house. At least you got like, I mean, Disney normally upgrades. Like if something bad happens like that, like they normally upgrade you. But like in the end, at least you kind of got what you want. Like you got everyone together.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's good.
Oh, it was so nice. I mean, it was like on the end of our vacation, but we ended up like it was cool anyways. I was really fun, like really happy, and I was like super excited to be there because I was pretty young. I was like 8 or 9. But to answer your question, to go back to that,
yes.
So depending on like how fancy the resort is, so Grand Floridian is obviously going to be higher in the points because it's one of the fanciest resorts.
Yeah.
So like I'm trying to like estimate. So Saratoga Springs, I would say when I looked at studios, Monday or Sunday through Thursday, there's like a standard point. It's like 14 points for a night.
Okay.
And then Friday and Saturday are like 16 points.
Okay.
So if you stay a full week, like you just add that all together for a deluxe studio. I think a 1-bedroom goes up to like maybe 18 or 20 points a night.
It's not as many points as I thought it would be, to be honest.
Yeah, but like, I mean, if you stay a whole week, you might be spending like 120 points or so.
Yeah,
120,
roughly.
100, yeah.
Yeah, and then if you go to like one of the newer resorts like Riviera or one of those like they're gonna be higher in the points. So like I would probably say like Riviera for a deluxe studio, which is like the lowest, like the smallest room.
Yeah, the lowest tier you can get.
Yeah,
that's probably like 25 points a night or something.
Okay.
If it's available too, because
so you're looking at like almost 200, like maybe like 150, 175, almost 200 points. And so if you only have like 300 a year, that's like a whole vacation. Like that's, that's a lot of your points. So
yeah.
So you would almost. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Miranda.
I was just gonna say, I think my parents, like when they talked to like their DVC consultant, essentially they said like we would like to take 2 weeks of vacation a year, and they estimated whatever. Yeah. But then they said, okay, you have a 3rd child now, add on 100 points because you're going to need at least a 1-bedroom, if not 2 every time you stay. Mm-hmm.
I was about to say, because I mean, if I was a part of the DVC, if I ever sign up for the DVC, if I'm ever blessed enough for Club 33, I'm going to have to at least go to Disney twice a year. So, I mean, it's good that they estimate that and everything. Because I was thinking about that in my head. I was like, how many points would I want? Because I would have to use banked points in present points, and because I would not want to dip into future points.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, because you dip into future points, then in the future you want to go again. You don't have any points.
Yeah.
That's like a whole
Then
credit card debt
the
thing.
cycle,
That's
you just
like,
borrow from the next year, and then you borrow from the next year.
Yeah,
after
that's a
that.
dangerous
No.
cycle. I wouldn't want to
that
borrow
is-
for future
no,
points.
That's straight credit card debt. That's how it happens, my friends.
Yeah.
You buy a credit card and you're like, oh, I'll pay it off later. I'll pay it off later. And then all of a sudden you're $10,000 in debt.
I know somebody like that from the DCP, but I won't mention names.
Yeah.
He's not here right now, but no. So anyway, I kind of want to dive into like the benefits of what DVC can get you inside the parks as well.
Ooh.
So is it just like what percentage off do you get? Because I know you get like a little blue card, little fancy blue card. Is it like 15% off, or is it depending on what it is that you get a certain percentage? Like, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, to be honest, they're the same perks as annual pass holders. So you get like,
Okay.
what do you guys know what annual pass? I think it's like 20% off merch and then 10% off some dining places.
I was going to say, that sounds pretty accurate. I want to say that it was either 20 or 25%, and then dining, it varied.
Yeah, dining varies because like some, especially like quick service, like don't do the annual pass discounts and that kind of thing. But it is interesting. A lot of DVC members, I guess more the people that have like a lot of points, are also annual pass holders.
Mm-hmm.
So like they have both, and the perks don't double up people. So just know that.
Yeah, people try that all the time on me.
I know, and they're like, I'm DVC and annual pass, and so
Yeah.
I get double, and it's like, no, you don't.
I was like, look, I'm earning my ears, but I'm not dumb.
But I think like those perks, because if you have DVC, if you're DVC, you have points to stay somewhere, and you're an annual pass, like go. I mean, you're not going to Disney for free, but like you've already paid for it. Like go.
Right.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I actually have an annual pass now, so I'm like, I don't know why I haven't planned another trip yet, because I need to go.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be
And
nice
I
if Gray and I could be part of the I don't want to get monetized. I'll stop right there.
And
or demonetized, I should say.
Still have not been back since DCP. Here we are. It's fine.
Oh, and Miranda, just let you know, discounts don't double up. So
yeah. So
Yeah.
don't be walking in and say you need 50% off something because you're not gonna get it.
I have 2 cards. Where's my discount?
Great, I have 5.
Like, I just need your credit card.
Yeah, where's the third card that has money attached to it? That's why. Yeah.
So okay, so the Disney Vacation Club, it also gets you into certain spots in the parks too, right?
Yeah, so they have like Disney Vacation Club lounges. I honestly have never been in one. I don't even know what they look like.
I was about to say, I've been in one at Epcot. One of my friends, Megan, I don't know if I'll ever get her here on the podcast. I asked her once and she's like, that is not me. I'm not doing it. Like, you guys have met Megan. You know how she is. She's one of those, I cannot, but I don't think I'll get her on the podcast. So we might not ever get, see her, but she took us, it was like a group of 5 of us up to the DVC lounge in Epcot. And it wasn't anything like crazy, but it was cool. Like, it was unlimited soda. So I took advantage of that for like the 30 minutes we were up there.
Is that the one that's above like the store outside of Figment, or like the area you go through?
Yep,
Yeah.
we went to that one.
I know what you're talking about. So was it just like couches and TVs?
Yeah, it was like, it was just a straight up, it was a nice lounge with unlimited soda. Like, that's all I really remember.
Some bopping music?
I don't remember too much about the music because all 5 or 6 of us were talking quite a bit. So,
yeah. I mean, I should honestly try. I like want to get in one. They always seemed really interesting. But
you have DVC, you might as well go.
I was about to say, it shouldn't be too hard for you.
Hello. Flash the blue card at the door.
I know. Well, okay, when you have like the member card, that only gets you so far, because unless your name is on that member card, like you can't use it. Like, I couldn't really use my mom because it had her name on it, and so unless I had an ID that said her name on it, like I wasn't able to.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is, if I steal someone's blue card, I need to just make sure I also steal their ID.
Yes, exactly.
Got it. Good.
Yeah.
It looks at the ID, looks back at you.
We look the same.
What?
It's my mom. It's my sister. It's my cousin.
This
We'll figure
says
it out.
Janice
I don't
on
know.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a haircut and I grew my beard out.
My beard
Judge
out.
judge me.
Janice is just a nickname. That's what my friends call me.
Yeah. Am I gonna get in the club or not? my friends are in there. Let me in there. I'm on the list, I swear. Mickey knows me.
That's some free soda.
Yeah, I want some Fanta.
I just want a Fanta.
I just want some Fanta. I don't
Bring me
want the
orange
Beverly.
bubbly.
Keep the
The orange
Beverly at
bubbly.
Club Cool. So basically, like, is there any other perks other than just like a discount and then the DVC lounges? Like, is there anything I'm not aware of? Because that's really the only two that I'm aware of when it comes to in parks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Honestly, I think that's it. I will say that, I mean, I don't know. I feel like you get like perks because when people know your DVC, like they're just, I don't know. I would say
They treat you better.
maybe, but I do know. I was told on my program when we were there that only the creme de la creme of housekeeping staff goes to DVC. So you do get better cleaning, apparently.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
I didn't realize, I don't know. But like essentially what you do is like you only have property, so there aren't as many perks as people like think. Some people, I'm in like a DVC Facebook group, and sometimes they would like complain about, I don't know, like certain perks being like taken away because of COVID. But the bottom line is like you pay for like property on DVC. Like you don't pay for like Magical Express, or you don't pay for like an annual pass or anything. You're just paying for property.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I honestly like love it. To be honest, I felt like an idiot when I went into the program, because when we were there, I didn't realize that all the resorts weren't like DVC resorts. I felt like a spoiled like rich kid that like, but I didn't know because I was like walking in there and like we started talking about the resorts, and when I looked up, because on, I don't know which website it is, but when you have the like cast member perks, you go on a special website to make bookings for the resorts, like with our discount. And I was like talking to Lauren, because she worked at
Brilliant.
Yeah, Port Orleans.
yeah, I was like, why am I blanking on that? Port Orleans. And I was like, are there only studios at Port Orleans? And she was like, yeah, it's just the hotel room. And I was like, there's no like 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom options. She was like, no, it's a hotel room. I was like, oh.
Miranda was humbled.
Miranda's
Yeah.
like, what's an all-star?
Yeah.
An all-star. I want to go there. Oh, it's like that. Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was going to say, it was like Jeff stays at Pop. I'm never hugging him again when we have a reunion.
Disgusting. They have to
Ew.
take a bus? No. At my resorts, we have boats and the Skyliner and sometimes jet skis.
The minivans that pick you up, like the
minivans and the
wrapped
monorail.
Suburbans that look like Minnie's dress.
We don't ride a bus. Absolutely not.
Heck no, we have limousines.
Oh,
Yeah. Limousines come and pick us up and take us to the park.
Yeah, so I like didn't realize that. So I would say that is a perk, but you pay for it because you pay a lot of money to be.
Let's say, yeah, it sounds like the big bang for your buck here is just getting those resorts, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
discounts are nice, of course, but sounds like the biggest factor here is getting those really nice rooms, those upgraded rooms on property.
Yeah, I also yeah, like the rooms I literally lost my train of thought. I just completely I forgot what I was gonna say.
That's
I'm
fine.
sorry.
No worries. I mean,
that's
you're
fine.
super busy with studying for school and everything. I'm sure you're mentally exhausted, but
It's gone.
great. Did you have any other like specific questions about the DVC?
No, honestly, I learned a lot. So
I
thanks.
was gonna say I learned some things that I was not aware of.
Yeah.
So, and I think one of my life goals is to get Pop Century on the DVC list here.
Well, if you can get some 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms in there, then I don't see why it can't be.
I can break down some walls.
Just break them down.
Penthouse suites at Pop Century Resort.
The 60s and the 70s we're gonna update, and then the 90s will update. Everything else will stay the same.
Why would you update them? They need to be stuck in those decades.
I'm not gonna.
True.
Well, I'm gonna update them to 3 or 4 bedrooms.
Upgrade them, not update them.
You know what I mean. We're making it DVC ready, okay?
Yeah.
We have to get it ready for Miranda to come in her limo and a glass of champagne.
Yeah, whatever. I do want to say the other though, because I don't know what they're like, and I want to know what they're like.
They're so fun. You get to see so many different types of people there. Great.
Different types or different classes. We're just roasting Miranda at this point.
Whatever. Oh, well, I was gonna say. I remember what I was going to say earlier.
Say it.
So, some people are probably like, all right, it's so much money. You have to pay yearly for these points. Like, what is this about? All that. So, on the DVC group that I'm in, I have learned how, like, it's actually a really good bang for your buck, because people sometimes they'll make reservations and then just out of curiosity, they're going to like book, like they pretend that they're going to book one with cash and they'll put like the equivalent. And so if you, for example, wanted to stay at Boardwalk for a week, I believe I saw that like it would be like $16,000.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that place
like
is crazy.
Yeah, for like a studio or a 1-bedroom or something.
Yeah.
And so then like you would only be like maybe doing 100 of your points or 150 at most.
You're paying the rest.
So, right. And then like obviously it's expensive when you just like buy property, but overall I believe that I mean, my mom says like all the time, like I'm like, do you regret it? Like, do you think it was a good like investment? And she's like, it was the best investment I've ever made, because you've had so many vacations since 1993.
Yeah.
And it was free admission for 7 years.
Right? Yeah.
I would have been going every single day.
Oh yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Yeah. And she actually, there was like a deal that was, so I believe when you buy into DVC, like it's only like the 50 years or whatever, or you might be able to change it, but whatever. So we signed for 50 years. They offered for Old Key West to extend it another 50 years, and my mom signed it. So we have DVC for so long.
I was about to say, because I mean, if you think about it, you've already had DVC for 30 years. You might as well sign a new contract if it's going this well.
I mean, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. And then once it's done, like I don't, you just lose it, and then you can't, like, you have to buy it all over again. So my mom was like, heck no, I'm extending that.
Yeah, extend it for sure.
Yeah. Keep it at the price it was at when you first got it, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. So nice. Yeah, I'm kind of nervous when I get my own, because I know I'm gonna want to like take my family like a bunch. So I'm like, yep, I will definitely probably buy into DVC. I am terrified of what the price will be.
Oh, well, I mean, it can't be any worse than what you're going to pay out of pocket just for a normal trip. I mean, just think what that's going to be by the time we have children.
That's
right.
true.
Yeah. I guess I could go stay at Pop Century. But...
Oh, man, that's so rough, Miranda. You sure?
Oh, no. How terrible that might be.
Dang. Might be neighbors on a trip, too. I'll just put a sticky note on the door that says DVC president. Maybe I can get a little good, some better room cleaning, huh? Because apparently they don't do a good, apparently they don't do a good room cleaning if you're not DVC.
I'm here to clean the room.
We've had great room service every time.
Never ordered.
I'm
room
sure.
service.
Oh, I honestly, the pictures look really cool. They're super like fun, and I feel like they're really kid friendly.
Oh yeah, Pop's great.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. We it's like more like Old Key West. It's like beach everywhere. It's like it doesn't scream Disney.
Oh, at Old Key West.
Right. Yeah.
I thought you were saying that about Pop. I was like,
I was gonna
Mickey
lie.
is everywhere.
Yeah,
Goofy's
it's
everywhere.
Like, Pop. No, like
Yeah.
Pop is super like kid friendly, all that stuff, and then it's like you go to Old Key West. It's like, all right, you're on the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. Well, I think we found a pretty good stopping place. Miranda gave us a lot of information on the DVC for this episode, so we appreciate that, Miranda. We'll have to have you on for another episode for quick service food and beverage. Of course, you and Gray can talk and share stories since you guys worked at different areas, one in resort, one inside the parks. So I think that'll be an interesting episode. But the DVC episode for now is complete. We're finished.
Yay!
Thanks for your hard work. Glad you got to come on. Everyone has now officially been on the podcast, which is fantastic.
And now I got to get all 6 of us on the podcast. So,
oh my gosh, that's gonna be a mad house.
Great. I expect you to show up. You've been doing good so far.
Yikes!
Yikes!
Oh, I'm turning in my resignation.
Oh!
But before I do, be sure to follow us on Instagram at the Goofy Scoop, and find us on YouTube under Jeffrey French. You can look up the Goofy Scoop podcast and find all of our episodes on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast. And that's our show.
Yeah, that's it. That's this episode. All right. Have a good one, guys. See you guys later.